Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back, another Genshin Impact video, and today we're going to talk about some of the upcoming units, right? The ones that are announced so far, being obviously Raiden Shogun and Kokomi, and both of them I'd say are really interesting characters to actually talk about, right? And they also have very, very nice 4-stars on their banners, and by very, very nice 4-stars, I mean mainly Bennett. I mean, Xian's okay. Kudrasar's can be really, really nice if you're pairing her with Raiden Shogun, right? Especially if you do get her C6. Hopefully, I can finally get to C6. So, anyways, let's talk about these girls. So, Raiden Shogun, right? She's just good. It's so funny because when she first initially dropped, everyone's saying, oh my god, this character is trash, right? There's so many issues with it. You know, it doesn't work that well with Mado, maybe this and that, and like now she's hailed generally as one of the, you know, top burst damage dealers in the entire game, and for very, very, very good reason, because the damage on her burst is kind of nuts, right? On top of the fact that, you know, with the emblems set, it's just so good, and then all the different like super like energy heavy team comps that actually does help her as well with not just, you know, helping out her own team, but also her solo damage, right? So that does really, like, she's oh my god, she's great damage healer, she's great, you know, supportish, trying to, you know, for gauge, not gauge, but that's Poce, for energy heavy teams, right? Plus she looks good, which is, you know, I guess slightly subjective, but it's only slightly subjective, let's be real, right? So yeah, she's fantastic. She's really, really fantastic. You have, it's only like, okay, her normal attacks are kind of whatever, but her E is okay, right? I mean, you don't really use it too often, right? It's up for a very, very long time, and it's just here to get the coordinated, you know, attacks in for that extra, you know, electro damage to your opponents. Whether it's, you know, getting some reactions or whatever, it's all really, really nice, and it's just a very, it's a relatively fast casting skill on top of like just this part, right? Characters who gain the Eye of Stormy Judgment have their elemental burst damage increased based on the energy cost of the elemental burst. Like the extra damage that you get to your teammates' elemental burst damage is just so good, especially again with units that have a very, very high cost, right? Like Miko. Hopefully once she gets a bit better, maybe. But yeah, like with this, you could just run her with so many like units and throw like into very, very good comps, stuff like a Xiangling, right? Xiangling, Bennett, right? The so-called Raiden National that a lot of people use with Xingqiu as well, like that team's just nuts, right? And it's really, really great, you know, in the fact that it's mostly 4-stars as well outside of Raiden. So like a free Raiden, right? A C0 free Raiden, not that bad, right? I do see a lot of people talking about, oh my god, you need C2, C1, no, whatever. But like, yeah, she obviously does get a lot better, and personally, I will be trying to pull for some Constellations this time around. But like, outside of that, like her C0 is just really, really good in of itself, right? So yeah, as for some other, her all again do really, really, really good damage, and you know, based on the stacks, all that stuff as well, right? It's just that as a unit, she's just a very, very good, you know, carry. Even for like newer players, right? Again, you do have the downside of, if you are a newer player, you do have to get to Inazuma first to get, you know, all this stuff, right? Her talent, materials, all that stuff. But at least you don't have to go as far as Miko. So yeah, anyways, that aside, right? Let's talk about her Constellations. Again, like I mentioned before, in my personal opinion, I think C0 Raiden Shogun is fine, right, for what you generally want to do with her. However, if you do have the extra stuff that you could, you know, maybe expend, then her Constellations are actually pretty nice, right? Her first Constellation, Chakra, I don't know how to pronounce this word, will gather resolve even faster. When electric characters use their elemental burst to resolve, gained is increased by 80%. When characters from other elemental types use their elemental burst or resolve, gained is increased 100%. The faster you increase the resolves, the more, just straight up more damage you do, right? Which is again a very, very nice set that you could get over here. And then her C2 when using your alt in the state, right? Raiden Shoguns ignore 60% of the opponent's defense. That is huge. That is huge. No wonder it's called Seal Breaker, right? So yeah, her C2 is massive for damage, right? Her C1's really, really nice as well, I'd say. Her C3 is just like all the others, right? And then C4, Pledge of Proprietary is after the Musho Ishin state applied by her burst expires, all nearby party members, including Raiden Shogun, gain a 30% bonus attack for 10 seconds. This is also huge because, like, generally, what you want to do is you want to E with Raiden Shogun first. Everyone cycle through their alts. Then after they use all their alts, expended all their energy, Raiden Shogun comes back in, use her alt, get a bunch of slashes, and hopefully get the energy back. And hopefully by then the cooldown's down on your units, and then you cycle through their alts again. And for 10 seconds, right, as many alts as you could get in there, gets that extra 30% attack boost on top of all the other boosts that you get from the resolves alt. It's just really, really, really good. Her C4, or not C4. Is it C4? It is C4. Yeah. C5 again, same thing, just buffs her E thing, right? And then her C6, while in Musho Ishin state, applied by the secret art, attacks by the Raiden Shogun that are considered part of her elemental burst will decrease all nearby party members, not including Raiden Shoguns herself, elemental burst CD by 1 second every time they hit opponents. This effect can trigger every 1 second trigger a whole total of 5 times during the Musho Ishin duration. This is nice to have. This is definitely, again, this is really, really nice to have, but it's definitely not as good as I'd say, some of the earlier Constellations, just because, again, the cost, benefit for her C6, I feel is again, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but I don't really personally think it's worth it. But yeah, if you do want her, I'd say C0 is fine, but if you really do want to make her really, really nice, I'd say C1, C2 is really, really good, right? And 3, 4 are just like, just super extra stuff that you could get on top of the basic parts of all that. So anyways, moving on, let's talk about Kokomi again. So Kokomi has had a resurgence, honestly, right? She has had a bit of a resurgence. When she first came out, everyone, and this was so dumb. I thought it was dumb at the time, and it's still dumb now looking back. Everyone saw the Kokomi crit, and lost their minds. Like, she's supposed to be mainly a support unit. Who cares if her crit thing is like, whatever, right? It would have been nice if she could also, crit and do some damage, but like, she's mostly a support. I do not care that much, right? Again, you totally run her as a DPS. Very, very legitimate, right? All that stuff, but there's other ways around it, right? That could still make her do solid damage if you really, really want, but I just find her support capabilities really, really good, and it's especially, and this I don't blame the people who freaked out initially, but it's especially good after they, got the new artifacts that make her really, really nice. So anyways, just a quick, I guess, glance at her kit. Her E summons Bake Kuraji, which deals basically it's a hydro applicator, right? It deals hydro damage to surrounding opponents and heals nearby active characters at fixed intervals. Oh, also heals too, which is nice. And then heals based on your max HP. Again, the healing stuff is cool and all, but I really personally really do like the hydro application of her E, right? Because her E, like, the range of the hydro application is actually really, really large. And you do have it pretty constantly, and it is off field, right? So I think one of the biggest uses is just to bring another hydro applicator on your team. If you are using, for example, Xing 2 on one of the teams, right? So you could have a secondary, or not secondary, but a second main hydro applicator on one of your teams. That could also heal you, right? That's really, really nice. Her alt summons, as it says, the might of Watasumi. You deal hydro damage surrounding opponents for robing Kokomi in a ceremonial garment made from the flowing waters of Sangonomiya. Dude, I love the Watsumi Island lore so much. It's really cool. Anyways, the garment gives Kokomi's normal attack, charge attacks, and the E thing. Increase based on your max HP, and then when your normal charge attack hits opponents, Kokomi will restore HP for all nearby party members. And the amount increased based on her HP. Increase Kokomi's resistance to interruption, allows her to walk on water surface, which is super cool. These effects will be cleared once Kokomi leaves the field. So yeah, basically, it's her like damage dealing option, right? If you are running her as a damage dealer, could also again get you some of those extra heals, clutch heals if you really need to. But I'd say mostly support Kokomi. You don't have to worry too much about that, right? Especially if you're looking at which talents I really want to send first and all that. But it could be nice. It could be nice, right? Here and there. So, anyways, also one thing about the alt as well is it does also refresh your jellyfish, right? Which is also really nice. So anyways, looking at our constellations, I say just for like a regular Hydra applicator, I do think C0 is generally, enough as well, right? So looking at Constellation 1, while donating the ceremonial garment created by the Nyaru's Ascension, the final normal attack in Sangonomiya's Kokomi's combo will unleash a swimming fish to deal 30% of her max HP as Hydra damage. So this is just, again, mainly for DPS Kokomi. If you really want, right, you go for C1 for more DPS, right? C2 will gain the following healing bonuses with regards to characters with 50% or less HP. Your thing will heal. It heals more based on 4.5% of Kokomi's max HP, and then the Q's normal charge attack gives 0.6 more of Kokomi's max HP. Again, this just gives a bit more healing, which is nice. But I feel like without any constellation, her healing is already like pretty solid, right? I think her healing is pretty solid. I think she's one of the better healers in the game, just for healing, right? C3 again, same thing as most of the other units of the game. This one's for burst, and then C4 will donating the ceremonial garment created by the Ascension Sangonomiya Kokomi's normal. I straight up just skipped that word. Attack speed is increased by 10%. Normal attacks of opponents will store 0.8 energy for her. Effect occur once every 0.2 seconds. This one again, it's mostly for DPS Kokomi as well, right? Then the energy recharge again is mostly going to help her, overall increase her DPS as well, right? So like as you could probably see, a lot of her constellation is really for more damage stuff, right? C5 is increase your jellyfish thing talent level by 3. And then the last one, Sango Ishin, is while donating this ceremonial garment created by the Narrates Ascension. Sangonomiya Kokomi gains 40% higher damage bonus for 4 seconds when her normal charge attacks heal or would heal any party member with 80% or more HP. Again, a lot of this is damage, right? A lot of this damage. If you're mainly running Kokomi as a support, right, I don't think any of her constellations are really necessary. Like, okay, maybe Constellation 2 is like nice for the extra heals, but I don't really feel like any of this is necessary. If you do want to run her as a DPS, well, you kind of want some of these, right? So the great thing about Kokomi is, because like if you're looking at this, it's like, okay, it's a Hydro applicator, which is nice, right? And I do think it's slightly underrated as part of her kit. And she's like a healer, like, okay. And the great thing is the artifacts, right? First of all, the big one, tenacity of the Millith, Qianyanjun is what it's called in Chinese. I don't know how to pronounce this word in English. But anyways, so this one, obviously the 2-piece does already increase your HP by 20, but the 4-piece is when an elemental skill hits an opponent, the attack of all nearby party members is increased by 20%. Sheer strength increased by 30% for 3 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every 0.5 seconds. This effect can still be triggered when the character who is using the artifact set is not on the field. this is where the jellyfish comes in, all right? Again, the jellyfish has a very, very large range. Very large range, and it's constantly triggering, right? Almost constantly triggering. So you could almost always have the uptime for the tenacity artifact, right? Which is, if you get like a, you know, constant 20% over here, that's really, really good. Like, right? Like, you could throw in this, you could have your thrilling tales, right? And boom, like you are doing great things. All right, you will be doing great things with Kokomi for your team, right? So like she's kind of like a mini Bennett. If I may, I know the Bennett people are gonna, you know, pile me. I'm not saying she's as efficient as Bennett or whatever, right? But you know, she does have similar qualities to that, like Hydro Bennett. How about that? Does that sound a bit better? I don't know. Anyways, that aside, right? That aside, there's also another one of the sets which also helps her, you know, decent amount as well, right? Ocean Hue Charm. This one's more for damage, right? This is a bit more for damage, right? And in this case, if you want to, you know, use her to actually do some damage as well, especially if you are, you know, running her as a DPS, this could actually be really, really nice as well, right? Again, just like I'm not gonna read all that stuff. Basically, the more you heal, right, the more. That's not a good way to put it. So, all right, when you heal, you have this bubble thing that gets stronger the more you heal, and then it eventually will pop and then do like pretty good damage to your opponents, right? So yeah, both these two sets are actually really, really good, and I do think that makes her much better than she initially was when she first came out, right? So yeah, that's these two characters. Again, one's a big damage, you know, carry / support, right? And then the other one is a really nice support that could do, again, a lot of really good things. Personally, I would recommend, if you don't have Raiden Shogun, I'd highly recommend Raiden Shogun, right? Highly recommend Raiden Shogun. Yeah, even over Yamiko. But yeah, no. This is not a jab at Yamiko or whatever. It's just like, if you want an electro damage healer, she's really the key to a lot of like hyper, you know, electro carry teams, right? You really want her, right? So yeah, anyways, that's that. And against Kokomi, if you really need a support that could do a lot of those things that she does, definitely a very nice option to us. Personally, I will be going for at least Kokomi. I might go for C1 or 2 Raiden Shogun. Depends on how my Kokomi pulls go, to be honest. So anyways, that's me this one. Hope you all enjoyed, my guys. In the comments down below. Like, share this video, subscribe to our channel for some more Genshin Impact content. I'll see you guys in the next one then.